Hello everyone, welcome to session 12 of Software Testing Made Easy course. In this video session, we are going to continue the live project, that is part 5 session of the live project. As part of this session, I'll be explaining how to create a test plan document. So far, what we covered in this tutorial series, as part of session 7, it all started in the session 7 guys. This live project has started in the session 7 where I explained how the project begins. There was an initial kickoff meeting between the client and the testing team, and there was an agreement made by the client with our company, and the project has begun there. And in the session 7, what did I explain? These are all the previous sessions, guys. Okay, the current session is session 12. The previous session, session 7, we started the project. The project has started. The live project has started. In the session 8, I explained the e-commerce domain knowledge. So in order to understand this application, as the application given by the client is an e-commerce application, in order to understand that application, we should have some e-commerce domain knowledge, guys. That's why I have explained this e-commerce domain knowledge and shared it in the session 8. Later, the sessions 9 to 12, okay, from the sessions 9 to 11, from the sessions 9 to 11, there is total 3 sessions, 9th session, 10th session, 11th session. In these 3 sessions, what we did, we explored the application, okay, and understood it. We explored the application and understood it. As part of the sessions 9 to 11, we explored the application and understood it. As part of exploring the application, guys, if you remember, we have noted down all the functionalities of the application that we explored. So this is the application, guys, that we explored tutorialsninja.com/demo, and we explored each and every functionality of this application and noted down here. Okay, these are all the functionalities of the application. If you remember, guys, while exploring the application, we even got some doubts, right? We even got some doubts, and we thought of sending these doubts, okay, to the client and clearing them up with the client. So what are the different ways that client can clear your doubts that you have got while exploring the application? Simple, guys. The first step that you will do is like you'll put an email to the client asking the answers for this your doubts. Okay, how to find the weight of the products. Okay, all those stuff. Whatever the doubts you had in the application, right? You just listed down, and you can put all these questions in an email. Hi, client name, comma. While exploring the application, we got few doubts. We got the below few doubts. Could you please take out some time for answering them so that we will be done exploring and understanding the application like that. Okay, you'll put all this list of doubts in that email and say regards. Let's say if I am the tester, Arun Motori, and company name and also stuff, and send it. Done. So once the client receives these doubts in the form of an email, he may, if he is able to answer them in a textual format, he will simply reply to the email, writing all the answers for these doubts. Okay, he'll be clearing all the doubts. If it is not possible for the client to reply in a textual format, then client will propose to connect to you over some meeting. Okay, you can connect to the client via phone or online meeting or whatever it is. In different formats of communication, we can, yeah, the client will connect to you and he will clear your doubts, guys. Once the doubts are cleared during the process, that means you have completed exploring the complete application and you have understood it. Each and every functionality of the application, you understood it. So that was this third step, guys. First step, second step, third step. Okay, like that. Okay, so we have explored the application and understood it and cleared it. As part of this, we also cleared the doubts also. Okay, the client has cleared your doubts. Done. So good. What's the next step then? After the project begins, after you got the domain knowledge, after you explored the application and understood it, what will be there in the live project, guys? What should be there in the live project? The next thing is test planning, guys, that I am going to explain as part of the session 12. So in this current session, that is session 12, the session 12, I'm going to explain how to create a test plan document for this project. So Without exploring the application and understanding it completely, we cannot create a test plan document. That's why the previous step itself, we have to explore the application completely and understand it completely and clear all your doubts. Once this step is done, then only you can move to creating a test plan document. Why we have to create a test plan document, guys? What is the need for creating the test plan document? You see, you cannot simply perform testing as it is. Okay. Once the project begins, if you directly start testing the project, like when the project begins, you cannot directly start testing the application, guys. That is project testing the project or application. You cannot directly start because if you don't plan it, there will be some consequences that you need to face, guys. Okay. So beforehand itself, you need to make a proper plan. So if you don't plan how to test the project, then even though you start testing the project directly, you have to face the consequences in the coming days because you have not planned the project well. If the project is not planned for testing well, your testing activities may fail, guys. That's the reason we have to create a test plan document. Using this plus test plan document, we are going to plan our coming days testing activities. Okay. So for planning our coming day testing activities, we need to create a test plan document, guys. So before I give you a lot of definitions and all those stuff about test plan document, let's start. Okay. Let's start creating the test plan document. You will understand what exactly the test plan document is all about. Test plan is all about planning our testing activities in a proper way so that the testing activities go very smooth. Okay, you are according to the plan, your testing activities should go. If you don't create a plan, it will be a kind of zigzag kind of thing, and you will face some issues, guys. Okay, during the project execution, that is during the project testing, you may face some issues or problems. Fine. So in this session, I'm going to explain and practically show you how to create a test plan document. Okay. Fine. The purpose of this test plan is to plan for the testing activities for delivering the quality product. You understood it already. Just now I explained. Now let's go with the test plan. So guys, I cannot start creating a test plan with a blank document. Rather, what I will do is I will take a sample template. Okay. Maybe this template was used for any previous projects. I'm just going to edit for our current project like that. Okay. So this is a test plan document, guys. I will simply copy the link and go to any application, maybe browser, and open it here like this. Now I'll download from here and download this test plan, guys. This is a template, guys. Okay. I will edit this template for creating a test plan for the current project, that is tutorialsninja.com/demo. Okay. The test plan document for a like previous project template kind of thing got downloaded here. I will go and go to the place where it got downloaded. I'll simply open this document. I'll simply open the document, guys. See, guys, before actually I open the document, guys, let me close it again. Let me close this document again. And here, as you can see, what is the name of the project here? Red Sin, right? So that is not the name of the current project. So I have to change, start updating it. I have to start updating the document completely according to the new project. That is, the current project is Tutorials Ninja. Okay. tutorialsninja.com/demo. So here I will say, for which project? Tutorials Ninja web application project. Tutorials Ninja web application test plan. Okay, test plan like this. I'll create. I'll just name it properly, guys. This document, whatever I'm going to edit, right? I'm going to give a proper name according to the current project. That is Tutorials Ninja is the application name, right? So web application. Tutorials Ninja web application is the project that we are testing. So project is name is given here properly, and that what is the type of the document? It's a test plan document. That's why hyphen test plan I have given. So once we have the name in place, we'll open the document here. Now, guys, what we'll do here is, okay, we have the test plan and project name. So what is the project name? Here again, we need to update the project name. So that is Tutorials Ninja, the type of the web application project. This is a Tutorials Ninja web application project. The project that we are going, the project is nothing but this application that is we are going to test. So that application we have to mention here in the as a project name. Done. So the type of the document is test plan. Done. Now scroll down. So prepared by whom? Let's say you are working for a company, guys. Let's say you are working for a company. Let's say the company name is Solitic. Okay, Solitic. I'm just taking a dummy kind of company. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is the project is, what is the project? Project is tutorials ninja web application project. This is a project. Okay. This is a project, guys. Let's say the client, who is a client? So let's say that the client name is tutorials ninja only. Tutorials ninja is the client. Here client is client company name who is giving the web application project for us for testing is a tutorials ninja, let's say. And the project is tutorials ninja web application is a project. Tutorials ninja is a client. Tutorials ninja web application is a project. Let's assume that like that. Okay. Now let's say I am a tester. Okay. Let's say I'm a tester. I'm a software tester. Okay. Let's say my role is test lead. Let's say. Okay. There are different roles in software testing. I'll explain that later. For now, let's assume that I'm the test lead. Okay, I can manage a project kind of thing. Okay, test lead, I can take care of a project. So Arun Motori and I am a test lead. I'm in working in which company? My company name I am just taking as, for example, I am taking the my company name as this one, Solitic. Solatic. Solitic. Let's say I'm Arun Motori. I'm a test lead working for this Solitic company, and this client Tutorials Ninja has given a project for testing. Okay, this client Tutorials Ninja, let's say he has given, this client company has given a project, that is Tutorials Ninja web application for this Solitic company for testing. So this company has assigned Arun Motori as a test lead for this project. Let's assume that. Okay, like that. Now what is the scenario? In that case, if this is a scenario, then here, as already explained, project name is Tutorials Ninja web application, and prepared by whom? Which company has prepared this? This company, Solitic, right? This test plan is being created by which company? Solitic, like this. And on which date? What is the today's date? Here I have to give the date. So this is just a template, guys. In the market, there are several templates for this test plan documents, guys. This is one of the template which you can use, okay, for your purpose. So there are a lot of templates that will be used by individual companies. Okay, some let's say Cognizant company has its own test plan template. IBM has its own test plan template. Like that, every company has its own test plan template. This is one of the example of a test plan template, and you can even use this template in your projects also. Okay, or better, you will get some idea, guys, how what exactly the test plan is and all. And when you really work for a company, right, you can get the test plan, like you can see their test plan. Okay, and work accordingly. For now, since I have to explain with an example template, I just took this kind of template. Okay, so this is also good. This is also good, guys. So different companies have different templates, and this is one of the template you can say. So date is, let's say this is December 13th, guys. Okay, December 13th. So I'll say December 13th, and year is 2020 only. So this is the date. Now, some table of contents are already there. So no, don't worry, just scroll down. Just scroll down. And here we need to update something, guys. As part of the project, the client has asked, what is the client name? Client name is Tutorials Ninja, right? Tutorials Ninja is a client name. So here you see Tutorials Ninja is a client name. The client has asked which company? My company. I'm a Arun Motori. I am working as a test lead at Solitic, right? My company, that is Solitic. To test few functionalities of which application? This application. Okay, this is the application URL. I'll simply paste it here. This web application, like that. Web application, done. Okay, so this document, I just don't have to write everything, guys. Okay, this is a template, guys. Some text is already there. If anything is needed to be updated, I will update here. Okay, otherwise we'll simply understand. So here, whatever need to be updated, I updated. This document serves as high level test planning document. Yes, this is a test plan document with the details on the scope of the project. I'll explain what is the scope of the project in the coming sections of this document. Test strategy. I'll also explain what is test strategy in the coming sections. Test schedule, this everything I'll explain in the coming sections. Okay. So this one, let it be. I don't have to update. Done. Now this is the overview of this test plan document, guys. So what exactly this document is all about is nothing but the overview. Nothing more than that. Okay. So once this is done, now scroll down. The next section is scope. You see in the table of contents, you can see first one is overview, second one is scope. So inside the scope, what we have inclusions, test environments, and exclusions are there. So let's go to the scope. If you want to directly go, you can do one thing. You can simply press Control key on your keyboard and click on the scope. It will take you there. Okay. The scope of the project includes testing the following features of which application again? This is application, right? Again, this is application. Provide the application URL here like this. This application. Properly paste it. Okay. The scope of the project includes testing the following features of the web application. This web application, tutorialsninja.com/demo web application. Now, what is scope, guys? The scope means what functionalities you need to perform testing. In this application, what are the functionalities you need to be tested? That is the scope, guys. Sometimes sometimes the client may not ask you to test every complete application. Okay, the client may not ask you to test the complete application. Instead, he want you to test only the, let's say, only the this shopping cart and checkout pages. Okay, and up to the order only you need to test. Remaining everything, product display, how the product is getting displayed and all those things, client is not asking. Let's say if the client is only asking you to test shopping cart and checkout pages, then what is the scope, guys? Scope is only those two functionalities only. That is shopping cart and checkout are only scope. Remaining are out of scope. So the client will give you. So during the when the project begins, guys, when the project begins, you will have an initial kickoff meeting. In the kickoff meeting itself, the client will give you the scope of the project. Okay, you will be asking what we have to test in this application. When the client demos the application in the kickoff meeting, then he'll clearly mention you that as part of this project, perform testing on the shopping cart and checkout. Then in that case, this application has this many number of functionalities, right? This application has this many number of functionalities, but client is only asking you to test only few functionalities, that is shopping cart and checkout page. Remaining are out of scope for you. You don't have to test the remaining. Only within the scope, only the inclusions. Here you see inclusions means what are all in the scope, like that. Okay, if the client want you to only test this shopping cart and checkout page, these two functionalities will be there in the inclusions, and there will be something known as exclusions, guys. In exclusions, the remaining all functionalities except the shopping cart and checkout page, whatever the remaining functionalities, right, that will be mentioned in the exclusions, which should not be tested. Exclusion means client is not asking these functionalities to be tested. Okay, they are not in your testing scope, like that, guys. Just to give you an idea, I'm just explaining what is inclusion and exclusion. But let's go with every functionality. Okay, let's include all like whatever the functionalities we explored, right, we'll include in the scope for now. Okay, I just gave an example what is inclusion and exclusion and what is the scope. To understand that, I gave the example like only checkout and okay, shopping cart. But let's consider every functionality that we explored here and add each and every functionality into the inclusions. So how to add them? So here I will, this is a previous project stuff. We don't need that, we'll remove that. And here we'll start writing the like we already explored the application, right? We know what functionalities are already there. You see, we noted down. So this is how the mind map will help you in a test plan document, guys. Okay, while creating the test plan, if you, while exploring the application, if you have created this mind map, right, it will make your job easy. Because here in this test plan document, under the scope, under the inclusions, we have to list down all the functionalities that we are going to test as part of the scope of the project. Okay, so again, if you want to explore, it will take a lot of time, but while exploring itself, we have noted down all the functionalities. Then it's very easy. We'll start with the basic things are nothing. Okay, these are not functionalities, so you don't have to add anything. So the next thing is register. Okay, the next thing is register. Register functionality, so I'll simply add high level functionalities. Register is, sorry, here else, register is one of the functionality we need to test. After register, what we have, login functionality. Like that, we have to keep on writing down. We don't have to explore the application again. We'll remove all this stuff. Simply press enter. So register, login. Next one is logout. Then we have forgot password. Then we have breadcrumbs. Breadcrumb is not a functionality, guys. We can ignore that because every page has breadcrumb. Anyhow, we'll be testing. Register, login, logout. So here I will say login and logout. Okay, instead of logout separately. Or else this is also fine. Okay, we can keep it forgot password. Then we have search functionality. We have to test all this. These are all in scope, guys. Now, okay, we need to test all these functionalities. Then we have product compare. Then product display page. You see how easy it is now just to note down all the functionalities that we are going to test, right? Since we have explored the application and created this mind map, things are becoming very easy now. Otherwise, you have again explored the application after again walk through the application and again note down like this into the test plan document. But now you see, since you have used Xmind and you have stored all these functionalities, it is getting easy. Add to cart, wish list. Simply we are listing down. Okay, saving a lot of time. Shopping cart page. Then doubts is not the one. Currencies. Then we have home page. Then we have defects are not the one. Checkout page. Then we have my account page. Then we have order history page. I'm simply noting down all the functionalities, guys. Okay. Order history page. Then downloads page. Then we have contact us page. Then we have uh, menu options, category pages, and footer options. Menu options, footer options. Final one is category pages, like this. You see, we have listed down all the functionalities that we have to test as part of this application in the inclusions, that is, which are in scope. All these functionalities that I have listed here are in scope. So here there is one more statement here saying, from our understanding, we believe above functional areas, okay, uh, from our understanding, we believe above functional areas need to be tested. Okay. Uh, from our understanding, what we can do from our understanding, we believe above functional areas will be tested. Should be tested. Done. So okay, something. Or else we can change it from our understanding. We believe need to be tested. Something, anything. Okay, need to be, should be, or whatever it is. And here I'll remove all this. These are not required. And after inclusions, we have one more section, right? Test environments. What exactly are the test environments? So let's say this application, this is a web application, guys. This web application can be tested in Chrome browser, right? In Windows 10 machine, Chrome browser, we can test it. Similarly, we can open the same application in Firefox browser also. That means we can perform testing of this application in Firefox browser also. Why we need to test in different browsers? Because there is a problem, guys. Okay. So let's say this application, that is tutorialsninja.com, is a web application, right? When you test this application in Chrome browser, let's say the application is working fine. Okay, all the functionalities of the application are working fine. But when you use the same application in Firefox browser, like a few functionalities are not working. This may happen, guys. So there will be some issues in the application which will reproduce only in that browser only. Okay. So the application, this application need to be tested in different test environments, guys. Okay, that test environments means different browsers also is one thing. Okay, environments means browsers also can classify the environment. So Chrome browser is one environment. Okay, then Firefox is one environment. Then IE browser is one environment. Edge browser is one environment. Then operating system also. Okay, if you go to a different operating system like Mac operating system, we have their Safari browser. Mac Safari is a different environment. If you go to a different environment like Linux Ubuntu OS, let's say, okay, so in that, and again Firefox browser will be there. That is a different environment because that is a Linux operating system. Firefox is a Linux kind of. So we need to test the application in all its supported environments, because This application may work in some browsers properly, but it may not work in different browsers. So we need to test all the possible browsers. So sometimes what happens is client will give you this guys. Okay, we during the kickoff meeting or during the progression of the project, right? You will ask the client. We generally ask the client what are the test environments. Okay, what are the test environments that this application supports, or we need to perform testing. So like that. So we cannot blindly take the environments. Sometimes we need to ask the client and which environments you want. General general things will be like Chrome browser will test and Firefox will test, right? Firefox browser. These are all Windows. Okay, Chrome, Windows Firefox, Windows IE, i11, and Windows Edge browser. All these things we generally test, guys. But there may be some situations where client will ask you to test even on Safari also. Okay, even on Linux operating system also. That's why, guys, we need to ask the client specifically. We should not take environments for granted. We should ask the client which environments does this particular application support. What are the different test environments that we have to perform testing this application on? Like that, we need to ask the question to the client, guys. The client may give you the answer, guys. Okay. So let me write down few in example environments here that client may provide. I will ask you for testing. So we should not be testing only on one browser, guys. That's not the test how the testing does. Okay. So testing need to be performed on all the supported environments. So we need to ask a question to the client. What are the different test environments that we have to perform testing of this application? Like that, we have to ask this question to the client. In every project we need to ask. Okay, so Windows 10, let's say client is has given some supported test environments for this project. So he may ask you to test on different browsers like Windows 10 Chrome browser, or Windows 10 Firefox, Windows 10 i11 browser, Internet Explorer browser, Windows 10, then Edge browser. All these environments client has given. Okay, Edge browser. Along with that, he also asked client has asked you to test on Mac, on OS, on Safari browser. Okay, Mac will have Safari browser. So again, Linux, Ubuntu, or Linux OS or Linux Ubuntu, whatever it is, on Firefox browser. This Firefox is different from this Firefox, guys. Okay, Firefox which is there in the Windows 10 is different from Firefox that is there on the Linux OS. Okay, don't think that after testing Firefox on Windows 10 we are done. Okay, if this Firefox of the Linux is also included in the environment, supported environment, then we also have to repeat our testing process. We have to test each and every functionality of this application on each and every environment provided here, guys. Okay, don't think that Firefox is completed. Firefox Windows is different. Firefox on Linux is different. So we have to test each and every environment. All the application functionalities will be tested separately on each and every like environment listed on here. Sometimes what happens is this application can also work on mobile. Okay, let's say this application can be accessed over Android phones. So in that case, client may say Android OS, Android mobile OS, or mobile devices. He'll say mobile devices, and in that Android test on Chrome browser, let's say. And another environment the client may give is what is that? iPhone device, Safari browser, let's say, like this. Okay, so there may be a good number of environments. Some these are only desktop environments. Now here you got mobile also. Okay, mobile also. So like that, environments may vary, guys. This application may support different environments. So based on the environments given by the client, we need to plan our testing, guys. This question we'll ask during the kickoff meeting, that is during the starting of the project. Or if that was not possible during the kickoff meeting, then later when the project starts and you start exploring the application, right, side by side you can send an email to the client asking for the what are the different test environments you want us to test this application on. Okay, then client will give you the list. That list you have to include in the test plan document. It's like an agreement, guys. This test plan document, whatever you are creating, right, is an agreement between you and client. So there should not be any confusions anymore, right? So once the client accepts this test plan, right, we can proceed with our testing. So this will make your things easy. If you don't plan it well, if you don't you plan your test environments and all, if you simply blindly test, right, at some point of time, client will come and say that you're only testing in only one environment, but I want all environments. That will be a problem, guys. So when the time, when you waste a lot of time, right, that will be a problem. So beforehand only we have to decide the environments. Then exclusions, I already told you. All the features except that are mentioned under inclusions. Okay. Whatever I mentioned are in scope, guys. Okay. All these feature functionalities we have to test, which are in scope. Now, whatever that are not mentioned in this inclusions will be automatically exclusion. That line, this line states that. Along with that, if you have any particular thing you want to mention, you can mention. For example, here, let's say in the product display page, any of the product display page, if I go, so this is a product display page. Somewhere here, you see there is a share option here. This share functionality doesn't belong to the application, guys. It's third party application. You cannot test this. Okay. Add this is a add this functionality is something a third party thing. Add this is a third party service. So you can say that here generically we can say we won't be testing, or else we can say exclusions are third party applications. Our role is only to test the this tutorials ninja application, but this tutorials ninja has integrated some third party application. That doesn't mean that you have to go to the third party application and test it completely. It's a separate thing. Okay, this application is separate thing. This is not part of this application. This is we have integrated. Okay, a third party service this application has used. Only up to that integration we have to test. You should not be testing the add this functionality, add this application completely. Third party applications or third party, generally in payment gateways, right, there are third party things like Paytm and all those stuff will come into the picture, right? Net banking and all, you should not be testing the complete net banking, right? So like that. Okay, so we should only see whether we are able to do payments, but we should not be testing the complete application functionality of the net banking which are integrated into this project. Third party payments, payment gateways should not be tested like that. If you want to write down anything kind of things into the inclusions, if there are any functionalities, guys, which should not be tested, any functionalities that client doesn't want to include in the scope, you can mention here. Okay, any other functionalities that client doesn't specifically don't want to test, okay, want you to test, you can mention here. Since I don't have any examples here, I'll simply like take it light. Now this is the next section, guys. We are done with the scope, guys. This is the scope of the project included, and these are the test environments, and we should not be testing the exclusions. Done. Out of these are out of scope. Now we'll go to the next section of this test plan document, that is test strategy. What is test strategy? So in the test plan document, so in the test plan document, this is a test plan document, right? One of the important major section of the test plan document is test strategy, guys. One of the important section of the test plan document is test strategy. Sometimes what happens is if the application demands, if the client demands, you may have to create this test strategy separately, guys. Okay, you can. So sometimes test strategy will be different, test plan document will be different, test strategy document will be different. But based on the type of the application and based on the like process you are following in your company, so you can have test strategy as part of the test plan, and sometimes based on the type of the project, test plan and test strategy can also be separate documents also. Okay, you see how much important test strategy is. It's like a heart, guys. Okay, heart of the test plan, you can say for now. Sometimes it's like more than the test plan, so it has to be separated also. Okay, depending on the project and all, we have to separate. If the project size is very big, okay, very complex and very lengthy project, then we may have to have a separate test strategy, because test strategy itself becomes a very big document. So here for this project, you don't have to create a separate test strategy document. This we can actually create a simple test strategy document inside this document itself. Okay, so how to create this test strategy document, the strategy section, how to write down this test strategy section? Let me explain. I'll remove this. So here, what we'll write. So here, our company. I am working for which company, guys? I am working for Solitic. Okay, Solitic company. I am a test lead. Arun Motor is a test lead in Solitic company, and will create and execute the test cases for the above features mentioned in the inclusions for which client? Tutorials Ninja. This is the client name. Tutorials Ninjas. Which application? This application. This is the application, right? So this is the application URL. Copy this application URL and provide here. Web application. Fine. Here we need to write down a strategy kind of thing, guys. Test strategy kind of thing. So we can actually think about like what we can do and all those stuff. Okay. Here I'll write the following is a approach we follow. Okay. We will follow for this project. The following is approach we are going to follow for this project. So test strategy is something like how you are going to test, guys. Okay. What's your approach? So every company has its own strategy, right, of testing. So if you give an application, let's say this application, if you give for a company like Cognizant, it has its own way of testing it. If you give the same application for IBM company, the IBM company has its own way of testing this application. So every company has its own strategy, kind of thing, right? So that strategy, what strategy you are going to follow for testing the application? What is the process you are going to follow? Everything you can write. Okay, whatever you want to convey to the client, like how different you are in testing and how you are going to apply the testing skill set to for testing this application, that core area, that core thing should be there in the test strategy, guys. Okay, so I'll be explaining, I will be practically showing you like how to write a test strategy thing. It's an example only, guys. Everyone writes a test strategy in their own way. Whatever, okay, whatever I feel is correct, I am writing here. And the other person, if you're working for any other company and where you have a separate another test lead, he may have his own ideas of creating the test strategy document, okay, based on the company environment, culture, all those matters, guys. Okay, so here I'll be writing an example kind of thing. So for a project, how can you write here? Already this is a normal thing, like okay, our company will create and execute the test cases for the above mentioned features in the inclusion for something like application. The following is approach we are going to follow for this project. So here I think I already worked on this and created this template here. Let me open here so that I can take it as a reference, guys, because I don't remember everything. So let me see like we are going according to the plan or not. So here is the test strategy, right? Okay. So here I'll change something. So it's not about test cases, right? So Solytic has communicated with the client tutorials Ninja. So this is the text, guys. Okay, this client. Okay, our company has communicated with the client company and has understood that we need to perform. So let's say there was a kickoff meeting, guys. Let's say there was a kickoff meeting, and in that kickoff meeting, your test manager, right, in the session 7, I explained when the project begins, there will be a kickoff meeting arranged by the BD with the client and the testing team, right? So then test manager in the team may have asked the client like this. So what type of testing you want? What exactly you are looking for? Then client may have said that we are looking for functional testing. Let's say, okay, for example, for this project, let's say the client wants the testing team to perform functional testing. Functional, they are asking, the client is asking uh, the the client is asking us to test the functionality, whether the application is working as expected or not. That's it. Functional testing means whether the each and every functionality of this application is working fine or not is a functional testing. So let's say that is a basic requirement the client has, and he doesn't want any other type of testing. Okay, manual testing and functional, that too. Solytic has communicated with Tutorials Ninja, has understood that and has understood that we need to perform functional testing for all the functionalities which are mentioned in the above scope. Okay, above scope. So here in the above scope, we have listed on all the functionalities that we need to test, right? So the same thing. So here we are writing the same thing. So like our company has communicated with the client company and has understood that we need to perform what type of testing? Functional testing for all the functionalities which are mentioned in the above scope like that. Okay. These are all the functionalities we need to test simple, which are included in the scope. Like that, we are writing the statement. The following is approach we are going to follow for this project. Let's see whether that is matching or not. Okay. Okay. Simple. Normal statements difference are there. That's fine, but the meaning is same. So as part of as part of the as part of functional testing, as part of functional testing, we are going to follow the below approach or process or whatever it is. Okay, we are following the below approach for testing. We are going to follow the below approach for testing this project like that. So here we have written some steps, guys. I will copy these steps, or shall I write it? It will take a lot of time. Fine, let me write it. Step #1. What's the first step, guys? So the first step will be like when you start this testing the project, right? We cannot directly start testing the project, guys. Okay, we have to what we have to do. We have to create the test cases. Okay, test scenarios and test case. We have to create the test scenarios and test cases for different features in the scope. Okay, that are mentioned in the scope. So here we will firstly we'll create or something like that. Okay, so creation of test scenarios. So this is a process and approach we are going to follow. Whatever the steps I am writing here, this is a process we are going to follow in the coming days also. Okay, creation of test scenarios and test cases. Creation of test scenarios and test cases for the different functionalities that are in scope. So this is the first step. So as part of creating of the test cases, this is the approach we will follow like that. So the approach is we'll apply several test design techniques while creating the test scenarios and test cases. So here I'll list down all the different test design techniques we are going to apply. One is equivalence. So I'll explain, guys, what are test design techniques, what are test cases. I have not explained anything so far, right? So there is like this is just a plan, guys. Okay, we are going to execute this strategy in the coming sections, in the coming days. Okay, in the coming videos, whatever you call. I'm going to explain. I'm going to do all these things practically before you. Okay, in this document we are writing our approach or testing strategy only. At a high level, just understand, guys. Don't worry what is test scenario. Don't worry what is test case, right? I'll show you how to create the test scenarios for the different functionalities that are in scope, how to create the test cases. So all part of the testing, guys. Okay. I will practically show you how to create the test scenarios and test cases in the later part of the sessions. Fine. Now we'll simply blindly go. So in order to create the test cases, we need some test design techniques, guys. Okay. For creating the test cases, we need this test design techniques. All these test design techniques also I'm going to explain in the coming sessions. So don't worry, just take it. If it looks kind of technical for you, just understand them at a high level, guys. Okay, don't think much. I'm going to explain each and every test design technique in the coming sessions. Equivalence class partitioning, and what is that? Next one is boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. Then data decision table. Decision table testing. Then we have state transition testing. Then we have use case testing. Okay, use case testing. These are all the test design techniques, guys. Equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, state transition testing, and use case testing are different test design techniques. I'm going to explain them practically for you in the coming sessions. Then Then we'll write more. Okay, what is approach we follow while creating the test scenarios and test cases? I'll write more here. Here we'll also use our expertise. We'll also use our expertise in creating the test scenarios and test cases using the below, or by applying the below. What are the different things we will apply? Apart from this test design techniques, we'll also use error guessing. Error guessing needs some expertise, guys. Okay, normal tester cannot error guess it. Okay, so an experienced tester who is very good at testing, right, he can do this approach. So here, as a company, right, I want to showcase that what are the best things we can do. Okay, like that. So error guessing and exploratory is also not a simple job, guys. So it also needs a lot of expertise. So error guessing, exploratory testing, like that I will list down. Okay. So apart from the normal test design techniques, we are also going to use our expertise in creating the test scenarios and test cases, like that. Then what next? We'll prioritize the test cases. So after creating the test cases, what is priority one test case? Which one need to be tested first? Which one need to be tested next? All these things are the priorities. We'll prioritize test cases like this. Okay, so this is step one, guys. Step one is completed. Now let's go to the step two. So this step two is talking about our testing approach. Okay, so we'll follow the below process. Our testing process, after creating the test cases as part of the step one, by following all these tests and techniques and expertise and all those stuff, prioritization, right? Then we'll go for execution, right? We'll execute the test cases. So how to execute the test cases also I'll explain in the coming sessions. Okay. If you don't understand test strategy, guys, blindly follow this. Let's take this as a template only. Okay. You'll understand this template once I explain the coming sections. For now, we cannot go forward. So we have to be with the test plan document. And this is for at a high level understand. This is a test case creation. Step two is like testing, actual testing. When we get the application for testing. So when we get the application for testing, what is the first thing? Firstly, what we'll do is we will perform when the development team or when the client gives you the application for testing. Okay, then we first thing is that we'll perform smoke testing. Guys. Generally perform smoke testing. Smoke testing means to test the high level functionalities only. Okay, testing the functionalities at the high level only to check whether firstly we'll perform smoke testing to check whether the different functionalities of the application are working at a high level. Okay, you are not going to dig deep. Just you'll here and there test whether the application is stable or not. Okay. So for example, I'll tell you guys what is smoke testing. I'll tell you if this particular application is given for smoke testing, guys. If this application is given for smoke testing, if you go to this login and if you give valid credentials and click on login, if the application is not allowing you to log in with valid credentials, then smoke testing will fail, guys. Okay, if the application is not allowing you to log in, then the main testing has failed. This kind of high level problems, then what we have to do? So we'll perform the smoke testing to see whether login functionality is working, we are able to create an account or not. So high level areas of the application will test here and there. Okay, don't have to go to each and every page. Simple. We if I have to test this application, if I have to perform smoke testing on this application, what I will do is I'll first check whether I can register an account, I can create an account or not. That's the first step I will do. Second test I'll perform as part of smoke testing, high level testing is I'll log in. Okay, I'll check whether I'm able to log in or not. Only login with valid credentials, I'll log in. Simple. Second scenario is done. Then what I will do, I'll try to purchase a product from this application. I'll search for a product like iPhone or something, or iMac or something, and I'll select this product. I'll simply add this item to cart and checkout, shopping cart, check. I explored the application completely, right? I showed you, right? Shopping cart, checkout, place an order. if I'm able to place an order or not. These are the three high level scenarios I will check, guys. Nothing much. Okay. I'll not do much. If any of the scenario of this, whatever I explained so far, high level things are not working, like registration, login, or this or placing an order, if they are not working, that means this smoke testing is failed, guys. Okay. This smoke testing is failed. The application is not stable at all. It's not ready for in-depth testing. Only high level testing will do. In-depth testing will not do. Smoke testing is nothing but high level testing, checking the high level main core functionality of the application will test simply at a high level, not in depth also. Okay. The basic functionality of the application should work, guys. That is smoke testing. If the smoke testing has failed, then what we'll do? We'll not test further, guys. Okay. We'll tell the client that the application has failed. Is not qualified for the smoke testing, or smoke testing has failed, and we consider this application as a unstable application. Kindly fix the high level issues and then give the application for testing so that we can test it in depth, like that. Okay. If the application high level functionality is not working, we should not have to work in depth, guys. Okay. That's what we have to mention here. So this is our approach. Let's say this is our approach. We believe that the best approach. So we can write it like that. Okay. So here, so then so if the smoke testing is failed, we'll simply we reject the build, and we'll wait for the stable build before performing in-depth testing of the application functionalities, like this. Okay. So you can write it if you want. You will reject the build if the above smoke testing fails, and we'll wait for the stable build. Build means application, stable application. Okay. Stable application or stable version of the application before performing in-depth testing the application functionalities. So before we perform end-to-end testing of the application, complete testing of the application, we'll first test the high-level functionalities of the application and see if they are working fine. If they are working fine, then only we'll proceed to the in-depth testing. If the high-level functionalities, main functionalities or core functionalities of the application are not working, we'll consider the build as application as unstable application, and we'll reject the application for testing. Further testing will not continue. We'll simply put an email to the client saying that this application has failed for smoke testing. We performed smoke testing and it has failed for this application. We consider this application as unstable application, and hence we will not be able to continue the testing. Kindly fix the high level issues in the application and give the application for further testing once the high level issues are fixed, like that. We have to put an email to the client, like that, if this kind of situation arises. So once we receive a stable application or build, what we'll do, which passes this smoke testing, that is high level testing, which passes this smoke testing, we'll perform in-depth testing. Using the, how can we perform in-depth testing, guys? How can we perform in-depth testing? Using the above created test cases. So in the step one, we already created the test cases, right? Using all this test design techniques and expertise and all those stuff, we created the test cases. So this test cases we are testing means you are testing the complete application. But we will not directly test the test cases directly. First, we will perform smoke testing. If the application is stable, then only we'll proceed to the in-depth testing, where we'll use the test cases for testing. Above created test cases, like this. Done. Next one. So next thing what we'll say is that here, if you remember, here I was explaining about the different test environments, right? So a single resource cannot test all the test environments at once, guys. Okay, one after the another one he has to go through. But as a test strategy, what we can do is this project, whatever the project you are working in, may have multiple test resources. Testing team will be there. Only one person will not be there. multiple testers will be there, right? So we'll write a statement like this. So the statement here is multiple test resources, okay, will be testing the same application on multiple supported test environments. Multiple supported test environments simultaneously. Okay, simultaneously, multiple testing resources. Testing team will be multiple testers will be testing the application, but each and every tester will be assigned with some environment. For example, tester A will be assigned one tester will be testing the application on Chrome browser. Another tester will be testing the application on Firefox. Like that, guys. Based on the count of the testers, we will divide the test environments between the testers. That's what we are mentioning here. Multiple test resources will be testing the same application on multiple supported test environments simultaneously at the same time. They will be testing. The next step. Uh, so we then, while testing the application, guys, we may find some problems, right? So we may find some places where the application may not work correctly. That means that is a defect, right? There is a problem in the application functionality is not working as expected. We treat them as defects. While these testers are testing the application, they may find some defects, guys. Okay, so we have to report the defects. We have to document the defects in some tools. There will be some tools for documenting the defects, guys. I'll explain that later. Okay, how to document the defects. We then report the bugs. Bugs means defects, guys. Okay, bugs in the, let's say a tool is there, let's say Zoho. Okay, if you know a tool, bug tracking tool or defect tracking tool, and send you the defects found on the day in a status email at the end of the day. At the end of the day, once your tasks are completed by the end of the day, right, you'll draft an email to the client with the number of issues you found in the application while testing the application. Okay, so if you find an issue, you'll report the defects in the this particular tool, guys. I will show you in the coming sections. I'll show you how to find defects, how to report the defects in this tool. Everything I'll show you. For now, you understood what exactly the defects are, right? In the previous session itself, I explained you. I showed you the few examples of the defects. We personally found some defects while exploring the application, right? These defects, when you find, right, you can report them in the a tool. Okay, there is a tool like some different type of company tools are there. This is one of the example of the tool that we'll be using in the coming sessions. Zoho bug tracking tool will report our defects in the found defects in the this particular tool, and at the end of the day we'll send the defect reports. Okay, then the defect details by email. Okay, kind of status email you generally call. I'll explain everything. What is status email, what is this bug tracking tool. You see a lot of things here, guys. Just at a high level you need to understand. Should not think much. If you don't understand this test strategy also, don't worry, guys. In the coming sessions we are going to follow the same strategy, where I'll be explaining what exactly is a test scenario, what is test case, what is a test case design, test design techniques. Okay, each and every test design technique. Then I'll explain like what is a bug tracking tool, how to report the defects in the tracking tool, how to send emails. Everything I'll show you, guys. Practically I'll show you in the coming sessions. For now, try to understand. If not, you can ignore. Okay, so and also as part of the testing, we'll perform all this type of testings. Okay, as part of the testing, we will perform the below different types of testing. The below types of testing. What are the different testings here that you are going to perform? I'll write down. Okay, smoke testing. As I already explained, high level testing is smoke testing. So smoke testing and sanity testing is a kind of in-depth testing, guys. I'll explain different type of testings in the coming sessions again. So for now, we'll blindly write what is smoke and sanity. And then regression testing. I'll explain what is regression in the coming sessions only. There are different types of testings, guys, that we can do on the application given the testing. These are all the different types. You don't have to understand what they are now. Just blindly follow. Okay. Usability. Usability testing, UI testing, and accessibility testing. All these are different type of testings, guys. You will not understand them right away. So we need to take good number of sessions to understand the different type of testings. So for now, blindly write down the different types of testing that you are going to perform on this project. Fine. So, and at the end, we repeat the test cycles, okay, until we get the quality product. So what is the main intention of testing, guys? The main intention of the testing is to like find the defects and get them fixed, and so that once the defects get fixed, the product, whatever the application that you are testing, the quality will increase, right? So we'll repeat all this scenario, these things, okay, starting from smoke testing to the reporting the defects and performing different type of testings, right? And now in the form of cycle, in the cycle one will do, and then client will fix the issues and give the again the fixed application for you. Then that will call it as a build, next build. In the next build also we'll perform again the same smoke testing to the end of the different type of testings, and the cycle will repeat, guys, okay. This test cycles will repeat until the application becomes, application quality improves to the client level, client required level, like that, okay. So this is our test process, guys. Then third step, so apart from following this test design techniques and this testing approach, we are kind of different, you can say, okay. You want to impress the client with this third step, guys, okay, where you want to say that our testing approach is completely different from other companies, okay. We will follow the below, we'll follow the below best practices to make our testing better, okay, more better. So everyone does the same testing, guys. Everyone does the same kind of approach, but this will make our testing a different thing, guys, okay. Not everyone will do this kind of testing, so like that. So first one is context driven testing. So what is context driven testing? Based on the type of the application, based on the type of the application, otherwise we will perform the testing based on the context of the application, context of the project. So what does it mean? So it's again, guys, there's a different type of testings actually. So if I have to explain that clearly for you, what is context driven testing? For example, if you are testing a military software, okay, that military software should be tested with utmost care, right? For example, you are testing a software which when you press some mouse click, a missile need to be fired, let's say. So you see how much critical that particular functionalities, right? So for that kind of thing, you have to, your way of testing should be different. For example, if you are testing a simple e-commerce application, okay, so here your approach will be different, okay. The risk will be kind of less when compared to the military application, right? In case of military application, life risk is there, but in this e-commerce application, life risk is not there. So based on the context, we need to perform testing, guys. More testing is required in the military application, guys, okay. There more time will be given, more testing can be performed, but in e-commerce application, time runs like anything, so you may not test like that as you test in the military application. So context means based on the context of the application. If the application is like military type application, then you have to follow a different approach of testing. If the application is like this e-commerce or education domain kind of application, then your way of testing will be different, guys. So that is context driven. Next one is shift to left testing. Is also another best practice, guys. We will perform testing from the development stages of the project only, okay. That means we'll not wait until the application is ready. Here this statement means we'll not wait until the application is ready, guys, okay. That means before the application is ready only the testers will be involved in the project, guys. What will testers do, guys? If application is not there, what testers will do? Testers will participate in all the discussions, okay. They'll make the decisions, they'll communicate with all the other stakeholders like managers, developers, okay, client side business team. They'll communicate every day and discuss the things. They'll be part of the team like that, okay. They'll start creating the scenarios. They will actually lead the project also sometimes. So shift left testing will have that advantage, guys. If shift left testing is not followed, what happens? We have to wait for the application to get ready. Then only we'll start testing, and because of that, some mistakes may not be identified early in the cycle, like that. Okay, so this is a very big concept, guys. For now, we are writing as a best practice. At a high level, you will understand. Otherwise, I'll explain more in the coming sessions. Okay, for now, ignore them. In the coming sessions, I will take a good amount of time in explaining what is context driven testing, what is shift left testing, and all. For now, you can ignore also if you don't want to understand. Fine. There are other type of testings which fall into the best practice, that is exploratory testing. Yeah, okay. Exploratory testing. Exploratory testing. So here, what is that? Using our expertise. Exploratory testing requires a lot of expertise, guys. Okay, so normal tester cannot do that. Using our expertise, we will perform. What is exploratory testing and all, I will explain in the upcoming sessions, guys. So for now, blindly follow, as I mentioned. Exploratory testing. Apart from the normal execution of the test cases. Okay. Apart from normal execution, we'll also perform exploratory testing, because when if you perform exploratory testing apart from the executing normal blindly executing the test cases, right, you'll find a lot of defects. Okay. Defects will not always come from the test cases, guys. So we need to also do exploration of the functionality. Then only we'll get the defects. Using our expertise, we need to explore the application in some ways which everyone cannot think of. Okay, we have to think out of box while testing the application. Simply blindly following the test cases will not help always. We have to think out of box and get some defects, guys. Okay, we have to catch those defects. Okay, that is possible with exploratory testing. So only experts can do that. So end-to-end flow testing. What is end-to-end flow testing? Let's say if you consider this application, guys, this application, if I am testing only login functionality, that means this is not an end-to-end, guys. Okay, if I test this application login function, that's not end-to-end. Suppose if I test some scenario like this, if I test the scenario like I'll log in first, this means I have tested the login, then I will search for a product. The complete scenario is like flowing until you place an order, you are going. Okay, so add this item to cart, shopping cart, you are testing everything. Okay, on the flow, single scenario, multiple functionalities are being tested, right? Multiple functionalities are being touched until you place an order, kind of. Those are end-to-end scenarios. End-to-end flow testing means testing the end-to-end flows of the application real time. The real user or real end user will perform this kind of testing. For example, if you go to ATM, guys, you'll simply not put the ATM card and remove, right? You'll put the ATM card, then you will enter the pin, you will enter the amount that you want to withdraw, then after withdrawing again you will cancel and then take out your card and then walk out of the ATM. This is a complete scenario. If you are testing that complete scenario, starting from putting the ATM card into the ATM and then taking the money and then taking your card out, right, that is called as an end scenario. Okay, end to end scenario flow. That kind of testing is known as end to end flow testing. So here you should not be separately testing what will happen when you put the card and take it out. Okay, you should be testing if I put a card, if I put some enter some amount and then withdraw, all the scenarios we have to test end to end flows. Okay, so that is end to end testing. So I'll explain more about what is end to end testing in the coming sessions. So for now we'll write down in the best practices. We will test the end to end scenarios which involve multiple functionalities to simulate the end user flows. Okay, multiple functionalities to which simulate the end user flows, as I explained, ATM card example. Okay, so this is step 3 is done. So this is a test strategy, guys. We are done with the test strategy. So this may be difficult for a new beginner to understand, guys. You may not understand because a lot of terminology is mentioned here. But at a high level, you need to understand what is test strategy, guys. Okay, this is your approach, guys. This is the approach you follow for testing, guys. Okay, so because I have to write something here, so I have to explain like this. but most of the people may not understand what I explained so far. But don't worry, guys. In the coming sessions, everything, each and every point of this test strategy will be explained in a practical way. Okay, the time has not come for you to understand this, but when the time comes, you'll clearly understand what exactly the test strategy and why you are writing all these terms in the test strategy. You'll come to understand at later point of the sessions. Fine. Now let's go to the next session, guys. Next session is so it has gone anything down. Yes, let's press delete. Problem tracking and test tracking procedures. Okay, so what happens is while testing, guys, we'll get some defects, right? So where you're going to report the defects, this is a template, you don't have to mention anything. Let's read that, and then if required we'll modify, otherwise no need to modify. Okay, here understand defect reporting procedure. How do you find like when you find a defect, that's a when you find this kind of defects in the application. Okay, you see Canon EOS 5D, the options are not getting displayed in the select there is a drop down in this page. Let's say there is a drop down in this page. So let's go to desktops. Where is that? Yeah, Canon EOS. If you go to this page, guys, there is a drop down here. You see there's no option to select here. That is a defect. Okay, we wanted to report, right? We have written down here. Let's say if you have to report this defect. So how do you do that? Okay, how do you do that? I'm going to explain. During the test execution, while you are testing the application, any deviation from expected behavior means if there is any functionalities that is not working as expected, will be noted down. Okay, we'll be noting down like this. Okay, we have noted down, right? The same way we'll be noting down. And if it can't be reported as a defect, if it is not a defect, okay, if you're not sure whether that is a defect or not, then we'll report as an observation, or we'll ask a question to the client, we'll ask a doubt to the client, or we'll report as an observation. Okay, sometimes if you are not sure whether whatever you are reporting is a defect or not, then what you will do, guys, then what you will do is what is that? So it's not working here. Okay, so any deviation from the expected behavior by the application will be noted. If it is can't be reported as a defect, if you are not unable to report that as a defect, if you don't know whether that whatever you find is a defect or not, if I am not sure whether this is a defect or not, okay, whether I can report a defect, or is there is something that the database connection is lost or something, we don't know, right? In the real time, the option should come actually. Okay, so it may be because of there is a logic problem in the application, or there may be some database is not down or something. Okay, in that case also the values will not come. So we are not sure whether this is a defect or not. In that case, you can report this as an observation. I observed something like this. I'm not sure whether this is a defect, so I'm reporting as an observation. So like that also you can report, guys, observation. Okay, any usability issues will also be reported. Usability testing is something different, guys. So I'll not cover this now blindly. Assume this something. Okay, for now, usability is like how easy it is for you to use the application. Okay, for example, when you go to an ATM, if the ATM is confusing you like anything, after you put a card, it's asking for pin. Then after entering a amount again, it is asking for the pin. Like that, something is happening. Some confusing functionality is there. You are unable to withdraw the amount from the ATM. Then the ATM software is not like a usable kind of software, right? The usability testing was not performed that on that usability. I mean, usability of that ATM. So such kind of thing. I'll explain more about usability testing in the coming sessions. For now, the issues which come from the usability, right? Usability level, or like you'll not see any error or something. Simply it's like you're unable to use it properly. Okay, it's not easy to use the application. So such kind of things can be reported as usability issues, guys. Any usability issues will also be reported along with the issues and defects and observations. After discovery of a defect, it will be retested to verify. So once you find a defect, guys, immediately you should not report it. Okay. Once you find a problem in the application, we have to check with our the other team members. Okay. So in our team, I am not the only tester, right? I have another testing team working with me. So I'll go to the other people and ask to open and see whether the same defect I got is also coming in their machines also. Okay. And also I will check because there are different members assigned to work on different test environments also. I'll check whether this defect is not only coming on Chrome browser but also in Firefox. Okay, like that also we'll check. So after discussing, right, then we'll finalize the defect. We should not be, sometimes what happens is sometimes you will think that there is a defect, but if you immediately report, right, then after a while you will come to know that that is not a defect. That will be a problem, guys. So we should take some time before reporting the defect directly into the bug tracking tool or defect tracking tool. We should wait for some time. Okay, so we have to take some time, then discuss with our team, understand whether this is a defect or not, then only report the defect into the tracking tools. Okay, like that. So I'll explain more. Okay, while I will show you how, with a real example of how to report a defect, everything I'm going to show practically, guys. Okay, this is as part of the test plan. We have to do this process every day. At the end of the test execution, guys, after you complete the testing, right, and at the end of the day, whatever the defects you found, you have to send them along with observations in an email. Okay, in an email you will send like you will send to your client, like, hi client, today we have performed testing for so and so hours, so and so a number of hours. uh, we are like 4 resources worked on this project, like the number of resources worked, their names, how many hours worked, what are the different resources, which resource has done what, everything will put that in an email, guys. Okay, and we'll also we'll also put the list of the defects we have found on that particular day in that email. Okay, we found the below 5 defects as part of today's testing. Please, in a tabular format, we can mention the defects. I'll show you practically in the coming sessions. I'm going to show you how to send such kind of emails. At the end of the day, once you complete your testing, you have to send an email to the client with the list of the defects you found, what you have performed, what are the different tasks that you have performed on that particular day. Everything you have to send in an email, guys. Okay, then client will understand, okay, these people have worked on this kind of things. So coming to the note, guys, defects will be documented in a Word document. Okay, defects will be, so in this live project, I'm going to document the defects in a Word document. And test cases, for test cases, I'm not going to report this into a defect tracking tool. Maybe in the later sessions I'll do that, but as part of this project I'll document the defects in a Word document. What are the defects I found, I'll simply document them in a Word document. And here I mentioned, right, we'll be creating the test cases using the different test design techniques. For creating the test cases, we'll be using a Excel document. Okay, like that we mentioned here. Then next section, roles and responsibilities. Who will be the in your team? Let's say he is my test manager. Okay, some Dhanraj is a test manager who will be like at a high level of the project, guys. Okay, this Dhanraj may be managing multiple projects. Okay, so multiple test leads will be reporting. Each and every test lead will be working on a project. So this test manager is on the top. So he is actually mainly for escalations only. Okay, reviewing and escalations. You can say review. He will also do reviews of, but you cannot write reviews here because this document is being sent to the client. So only escalations we can say. Any escalations in the project, for example, you got a, while you are testing the application, right, you got a major problem, so that is not getting addressed between the UI and the client. As a test lead, you are not able to get it resolved with the client. What you will do next, you will approach the test manager. Okay, your high level person, test manager, will approach, and you will escalate there. Or there may be some situations where the client is unhappy with your testing, and he may approach test manager directly saying, what's going on, I'm not satisfied with the testing, something like that. Then test manager will come and talk to you. Okay, and ask you why the things are not going well. So for that kind of manager level, high level, who will manage your project, right, we need a test manager. So roles and responsibilities are, this person is a test manager who is for escalations only. So high level meetings he'll attend along with you with the client, or he'll be there in the high level decisions of the project, guys. And like any escalations problems, he will be there. But the main person who will be running the project from the testing side is test lead, guys. Let's say I am the test lead, I'm writing my name. So the test lead will be generally creating, guys. Okay, as a fresher, you will not be creating the test plan document. Don't think that in the first day itself. Okay, after, as a beginner or a kind of tester, right? Beginner tester will create this kind of test plan documents. No, you will not be creating that. Generally, in the real time, test lead will be creating this kind of test plan document. Sometimes senior test engineer, test engineer having some experience, more experience, can also do that. So mostly test lead will do. In some cases, senior test engineer also can do create this test plan document, but not a beginner. Okay, not a fresher kind of person will not do this, will not create this test plan document. Test plan is already at a high level, guys. Okay, so this is for now why I'm explaining all this test plan thing for you. Then you see in the interviews, everyone will be asking like, what is a test plan? Okay, and what are the different things that will be there in the test plan, like that. Okay, what is a test plan, what exactly that it contain, it should be explained. Okay, test plan will have the scope, it will have the strategy. Okay, how we report that, we will mention everything like problem tracking, test tracking, roles, responsibilities, schedule. We have to mention that. Okay, in the interviews the questions will be asked like, have you ever seen the test plan, have you worked on it? Okay, what will be there in the test plan? So we have to mention the scope of the project will be there. Okay, all those test strategy will be there, we have to mention that. Okay, so at least understand at a high level, guys, if you are not able to understand in the detail. So here Arun Motor is a test lead, what he will do, lot of responsibilities are there. As a test lead, what you have to do, you have to create the test plan, you have to send it to the client for sign out and for acceptance. You have to interact with the application, create and execute the test cases, report the defects, find and report the defects. Okay, and you have to meet the team, you have to collaborate with the team. A lot of things are there. These things I'll explain later, guys. Okay, you'll not understand right now. So it will take some time for you guys to understand different testing roles also. We have a separate session for different testing roles and what are the different responsibilities they will have, okay, in the project. So all these things we'll do it later. Let's say here we'll add one more resource to the team. Let's say Kavita Appam, and let's say she is a test engineer in the project. Here, let's say how many resources are in the project? Total 4 resources: test manager to test engineer. So here, let's say she is like not a senior test engineer, she's a normal test engineer. Mostly what they will do is they will interact with the application normally as we explore the application, right? The similar way. So along with that, here they will not create. Okay, they are not allowed to create, guys. They will only execute the test case. Senior test engineer onwards, they are allowed to create and execute the test cases. But normal test engineer is not allowed to create, guys. Okay, they are only allowed to execute the test cases. So these 3 things they can do, but not creating other test cases. And test lead has more responsibilities. You see. Anyhow, we'll discuss more about these roles and responsibilities in the coming sessions. Fine. Apart from that, what is there? Apart from that, there is a test schedule here. So how you are going to schedule the project? Okay, how you are going to schedule the project? Test schedule. I mean, at what time you are going to deliver what kind of things? Okay. So here I'll say first thing is creating the test plan. First task is creating the test plan. Let's say we'll start creating the test plan. Today we started, right? So starting from December 13th to, will take the time till December 15th, guys. Okay, by the time client will approve your test plan, it will be like 3 days. Today we'll complete creating the test plan. You see, today itself, right? I'm explaining how to create a test plan. Let's say this kind of document we are going to create for this application already. We are doing that. So it will take 1 or 2 days. So I'm saying, let's say December 13th or December 14th we'll complete, and we'll send an email to the client saying this is a test plan, kindly review and approve. Okay, client will go through the test plan that you are sending. This particular document the client will go through, and each and every point he has to understand and he has to accept, guys. Okay, he has to say proceed, please proceed with the plan, please proceed with the suggested plan you need to say, then only we can go to the next step. So here, once client says okay, then what we have to do, guys, we have to create test scenarios, test scenarios and test case creation. Okay, test cases and test scenarios we have to create. Let's say this will start on December after the client approves 15th, right? Let's say client has approved by the end of the day of 15th, then we'll start on 16th. And how much time it will take for creating? It will take a lot of time, guys. Let's say it will take 10 days. So 26th 2020, like that. Okay, so test case creation is done. This field is not required. I'll remove this, delete entire row, done. Then we have to, once client approves by the 26th of December, let's say client has approved your test case, whatever the scenarios and test cases you created, right? Client has approved. I'll show you how to create. Now I am showing you how to create a test plan. In the coming sessions, I will show you how to create the test scenarios and test cases. Fine. So, but this is just a timeline, right? Okay, we are going to plan accordingly like this. Test case execution. Once the test cases are approved, right, you can start testing and okay, you can start testing. So, in what date? December 27th, you will start testing. After 26th only, you have to start, right? 27th. December 27th, we started the testing. Test case execution started. Okay, test case execution started. And finally, what is the next thing, guys? Final thing is like we have to submit the reports to the client. Okay, after the testing is done. Testing has started on 27th. You see, testing also will, using these test cases and exploratory testing and all the type sorts of testing, right? We'll perform the testing here, and it will take a lot of time. So it will also take, let's say, it has taken time a month, a 20 days of time, 20 working days, let's say. So by the time it was like January 27th, 2021. Okay, it took a month, let's say. Assume that 2021. So then on the next day, that is January 28th, Jan 28th, you will be sending this complete reports. Okay, test reports will be sent. What application functionalities are working, what are not working, and all those stuff we will be sending. Okay, like the summary report submission. So this case study, guys, is one of the project, guys, and not every project will be like this. Okay, so in order to understand the basics of the testing, we are following this basic kind of project. Okay, nowadays most of the companies this kind of projects will not be there, but there are several. Okay, several type of projects. The coming days, we follow agile and all those stuff, right? So agile projects we follow, some like kind of complete projects we follow. Even work with developers. I'm not including everything. Okay, different case studies are required. Different type of live projects are need to be explained, guys. In this live project, you will be understanding what exactly is testing is, what exactly a test case is, what is a test plan, what are the test scenarios. Okay, basics of the testing you'll understand. Okay, there are some projects in the companies which will follow this approach also. Don't think that every project has this kind of approach. This is for your understanding what exactly is testing and all. This is the easiest way of explaining a project for you guys. Then once this project is done, and once you understand the basic terminologies like test design techniques, test cases, test scenarios, test plans, okay, and all the test summary reports, reports, day-to-day emails, and everything, if you understand, right, then we'll go to the next live project in coming sessions. Okay, and this is not the only project I'm going to explain. I'm going to share more live projects in the coming sessions also, where we'll slowly increase the kind of, okay, we'll slowly increase the level and go there. For now, this will be the best project for you to understand what exam as a beginner. If you want to understand the testing, this is the best project, guys, to get started with. So fine. So test schedule is done. Yes, 28th we'll send the submission report. We are saying to the client like this is a schedule. This is a timeline we are going to work. Okay, test schedule means timeline. These are the different testers roles which are going to work with the project, and these are the different responsibilities we are going to share, and these are the different team members who are going to work on the project. Everything we are documenting here, right? Test deliverables. So as part of the schedule, when you are following the schedule, right, what are the deliverables? What are you going to deliver? One of the deliverable may be test plan. This whatever the document I am doing, right? When you are going to deliver it here, the end date is 15th, right? So we'll say on maybe we will be sending this test plan to the client on 14th. Okay, in 1 or 2 days we'll complete the test plan, right? So maybe to 14th we'll complete the test plan, December 14th. So we'll write the same thing here, December 14th. And who is the responsible owner? Your company. As a tester, I am working for which company, guys? I am working for, what is that? Solitic company. So my company, in which I am working as a test lead, right? That company is the owner of this of sending this test plan. Then you will be creating the test cases, right? So here also you are the owner. You are responsible for this test cases. So in which date you will be delivering this test cases? Test cases will be completed by 26. So 26 you can say. Maybe 26 by the time 26 you will be review will be done by the client also. Okay. After you send the test plan or test cases, right? Client will take some time. Then he will review and reply saying that okay, your test cases are good, test plan is good, and all the stuff. Once he approves only, we can go to the next level. So here I'll give December 25th. Okay, maybe 25th we have sent to the client, and 26th the client has approved it, like that. By 26th, client have approved it, but 25th we have sent this particular test cases to the client. Then defect reports, guys. So here not applicable, guys. Target completion date is not applicable. This cannot be given any date because it's an ongoing process. Defect reports every day we have to send. So like it, I'll simply write it. Summary reports. Yes, summary reports will be sent to the client on 28th, Jan 28th, Jan 28th, Jan 28th, 2021, like this. Okay, these are the deliverables. While working on the project, these are the things that you are going to give to the client as part of the showing your testing services. You'll be sharing these documents to the client. Based on these documents, client will proceed with the things. Fine. So finally, there is one more thing, guys. Pricing. There's one more thing like pricing, guys. So this will be like you don't have to mention any pricing details in the test plan document. Mostly it will be shared in either in the like the beginning of the project itself while the client is making an agreement. If it is not made, okay, if it's not, if you have to mention the pricing of the project, okay, I mean how much you are charging for a test engineer per hour, such kind of things. If you want to mention here, you can mention. But if you don't want to mention, you can simply mention like will be shared by the project manager or test manager separately. Test manager will discuss separately. We are going to not going to mention pricing in this test plan document like that. So sometimes we'll skip this section also from the test plan. If it is need to be written here as per our template in our company, and if you are not responsible for that kind of thing, will be shared by the test manager separately. You can mention and skip it. Fine. These are the basic things, guys, that we generally write, and there are few more things that we need to. You see, we completed up to where, guys, test schedules, right? Test schedules. Pricing is not mentioned here, but that's fine. Pricing you can skip if you want. Here, a few more things are there. Entry criteria, exit criteria, suspension and redemption criteria, tools, risk mitigation. I'll explain what exactly these are. Okay. I'll not write down now. These are the basic things in the test plan. Get whatever I mentioned are the important things in the test plan. Apart from this, you can also mention these sections in your test plan. Okay. Few companies mention this kind of sections in the test plan. So what does they contain? I'll directly show you. So here I'll go directly to the after pricing we have entry and exit criteria. So here, guys, testing will start with the exploration, right? First we explore the application. Here you see in the previous videos we explored the application, right? So that we call that section as that level of okay, that that phase of testing we call that as requirement analysis, where the client will demo the application or give you some details about the project, or he will give you some requirement documents or whatever it is. That is the entry criteria. You have to start exploring the application or perform the requirement analysis when the client gives the required documents or client shares some details about the project. Then only we can do that, right? Then exit criteria is, what is exit criteria? Exit criteria is this kind of thing. Okay, this kind of thing. You have to prepare this kind of thing. List of requirements are explored and understood by the testing team. You have explored the complete application and understood what exactly the application is, and any other doubts left. Here you got some doubts also, right? These doubts are also cleared. So that is the exit criteria. The requirement analysis will start when client shares you the some project details for you to explore. He will give you some time like in 7 days, explore the project like that. Okay. So he'll give some requirement document and explore that and ask any doubts. We'll go through this either project application or document or any other things, wireframes, mock screens, anything. Okay, client may give anything. That is an entry criteria for performing requirement analysis, for exploring and understanding the application. And the exit is how to come out of this first phase of the testing. We will come out only after understanding the application, clearing the doubts. You see, this is the phase we completed already. We understood the application, explored the application, cleared out doubts. So we can go to the next phase of the testing. After requirement analysis, what is the next phase? The current phase, whatever the phase we are in. Currently, what we are doing is we are creating the test plan. We are preparing a test plan document. This is the second phase. So when to enter test plan? Once you are done with these things, this is the exit criteria of the requirement analysis is the entry criteria of the test planning. Some nothing more than that. Once you have listed down the requirements, okay, once you understood the application functionality and understood the requirements that need to be tested in the application, and after clearing all your doubts, that is the entry criteria for starting creating the test planning. Okay, then only you can start. Once you made the entry criteria, then you can start creating the test plan. Otherwise you cannot. Then exit is this document. this particular document is sent to the client for review. And once the client approves this document, yes, this test plan is very good and you can proceed with this plan for your further testing, then that is exit criteria, guys. Okay, that is exit criteria. If you have to complete this second phase of testing, then the test plan need to be signed off. That means approved by the client, Tutorials Ninja client. Fine. So then next phase is test designing. In order to enter into the test designing means creating of the test cases, guys. When you will create the test cases, once the test plan is approved, and if you then that will become the entry criteria. You can enter into the creation of the test cases, test scenarios, and test cases. Test plan document is approved by the client. Then you will start creating the test scenarios and test cases, and how to exit, how to come out of this third phase. Here the next, here one after another is coming, guys. Here when you come out, when the client says that whatever the test scenarios and test cases you have written in an Excel document or whatever it is are good, okay, there are no other changes needed, then that will be signed off. The test cases and test scenarios will be signed off by the client. Then you can come out of the test designing. You'll be writing whatever you want to test, right? In a document format you will be writing. That's the test designing. I'll explain more about test scenarios and test cases in upcoming sessions. So once these test cases are ready, guys, then that will become the entry criteria for test execution. Here, using the test cases, you will be testing the application. Okay, using the things written in the test cases, you will be testing the application. You see, for this, for testing the application, the entry criteria is the scenarios need to be approved. The scenarios and test cases need to be approved. And also one more entry criteria is required, guys. Application also should be ready. Even though your scenarios and test cases are ready, but if your application is not ready for testing, how can you test it, right? Here, test scenarios and test case documents are ready, approved by the client, but your application is not ready, then you cannot test it, right? And the application is given for testing only, you can test. Both the conditions should match for entering into the testing phase. Okay, actual testing phase, test execution. Exit is once these things are there, and then when you perform testing, you will actually put some reports, results in this test case documents. This particular test case is passed, is working as expected. This particular test case is failed, like that. That is test case reports we have to prepare. While testing the application, we may find some defects, guys. We have to report the defect reports. So when these things are ready, when the test case reports, defect reports and test status are ready, then we can come out of the test execution. Then the last section is test closure, guys. When can we close the testing? When can we complete the testing? For that entry criteria, this report should be defect. All these test reports should be ready, and exit criteria is final report saying that everything is good. Test summary reports, final report should be sent to the client. Okay, so that is test closure, guys. When you test the application completely and you provide the proper reports to the client saying that everything is working perfectly fine, right? That is known as test closure. You'll come out of the test. This is the last phase of the testing. So these are the entry and exit criteria that you can mention in the test plan document, guys. So this is a entry and exit criteria we are going to follow during the different phases of the testing that we are mentioning to the client. The next thing is next section is suspension and resumption criteria, guys. So it's a high level section, you can say, where based on the client decision, guys. Sometimes what happens is client want the project to hold, guys. Okay, because client is paying a lot of amount to the company already. The client is giving billing to the company, right? He is paying for every hour that particular testers are testing on the project. Some situations may come where client may decide to suspend the project for some days, like 10 or 15 days due to some problem. Okay, the client side work is not going on or whatever it is. So unnecessarily don't want to pay you the money. So in that case, what client will do is client will ask you to suspend the project for some days. So here we are mentioning, like, based on the client decision, we'll suspend and resume the project. It's possible. Okay, we are very flexible, guys. As a company, we are very flexible that based on the client decision, we'll suspend and resume the project. Whenever client want to suspend, we'll suspend. Whenever the client want to continue the project, we'll continue. Okay, suspend means temporary hold. Okay, temporary hold of the project. Temporarily stop the testing services, like that kind of thing. So what we'll do based on the client decisions only, right? Sometimes what happens is we may have to stop the project, hold the project for some days, temporarily stop, and then continue the project, right? That is one thing. Second case, what will come is sometimes client doesn't have much time for releasing the project, so he may need more resources. So we'll ramp up the resources. So we'll increase the number of resources. And sometimes the testing work is very less. When the testing work is very less, like instead of 4 people, client may need only 2 resources. Then ramp down will happen. Okay, ramp down means reducing the number of resources in the project as per the client needs. Client will do that. Okay, so we'll ramp up and run down the resources as per the client needs. So based on the client decisions, we'll suspend and resume the project. So this is a flexibility we are giving to the client. That same thing, company thing, whatever the company you are working in, that company thing we are following here, guys. Okay, so like company, whatever the dummy company I provided in that company, let's say this is the process. You can mention that in the test plan document. Then tools. What are the different tools you are going to use as part of this project? Let's say if I have to report the defects in the bug tracking tool, instead of the Word document, if I am going to use a bug tracking tool, right? Zoho bug tracking tool, if I want to choose, that tool I will mention here, along with that mind map tool. You see, this tool I have used already, right? For exploring the application and okay, for making my test plan creation and test case creation. So I can mention that. So this is a screenshot tool, guys. Whenever you find a defect, right, you need to take a screenshot, okay, as a proof. You need to show particular area of the application on the screen as a proof, guys. For that, we have to use this kind of tools. I'll show you how to use this tool for taking the screenshots in the upcoming sessions. For now, simply we are mentioning the tools. And finally, Word and Excel documents, you already know. Fine. So there is one more, 2 more sections, guys, remaining: risk and mitigations. These are basic sections. Okay, you don't have to worry much. So risk and mitigations are when you are working on this project, when you are testing this project, you may face some risk, guys. Okay, you need to estimate the risk in advance, and you have to have some solutions with you. For example, there may be some risk like one of the resource may not be available on that for testing the project. Maybe a resource may take, because of some ill health or something, he may take 2 weeks of leave. So what you will do in that kind of situations in the project, guys? For that, in that kind of situations, guys, what we can say to the client that we'll mitigate such kind of situations by planning the backup resources. Okay. So then another risk that may come is there may be some days where application may not work. The client want you to test, but application is not working on few days. What you will do? Then as a solution, you are providing that when the application URL is not working, our testing resources will work on other tasks. Instead of wasting the time on that particular day when the application URL is not working as part of the testing, then the resources will work on other tasks like any other test case updations and all those stuff like that. Another risk that may come in the project while testing is like less time for testing. There may be some situations where in a week we need to release the application into the market, but we don't have that much time for testing. So then this company solution, what solution we offer is like we'll ask the client to ramp up the resources. That means if the resources are only 4, we can increase the resources to like 6 or 8 based on the client urgency and all those stuff. And sometimes one more flexibility also we can give as a company is like we can say that on weekends also we'll be working. Okay, maybe my entire team will be working on Saturdays and Sundays, and the same billing will be applied, kind of things. Okay, you can write all the risks and solutions here in this section. And final one is approvals, case. Okay, approvals means here we have to clearly mention to the client, right? While Solytic company as a testers, we are working, right, on different documents. So test plan, test scenarios, test cases, test reports, right? So client has to approve them, guys. Okay, then only we'll move to the next stages. Otherwise, the time will be delayed. So that thing we are simply providing here. Testing will only continue to the next steps once these approvals are done. Otherwise, we'll stop there itself. Okay. Once the test plan is approved, then only we can move to the creation of the test case and scenarios and cases. Otherwise, the client has taken a lot of time, right? This plan will not be applied. For example, here I will show you guys some test schedule we have written. Here, creating test plan, we have written 13-14. As per our timeline, we'll send the document test plan, this particular document to the client on 14th, guys. But let's say client has to reply by 15th, but he didn't reply. He took 18th, but here test case creation should start on 16th. If the client has not replied, then we cannot start the next phase, right? That thing we are mentioning here. But in real time, guys, even the client takes a lot of time, right? Parallel will start creating the test cases offline. We'll not mention the client, but without wasting the time, we'll give ample time to the client, and then we'll simply create the test cases. Okay. So anyhow, guys, few understand that few terminologies you may not understand. Okay, from this explanation. those terminologies will be clear for you in the upcoming sessions. So what I suggest you is that even after going through the upcoming sessions, you can again come back to the current session and then revise again. Okay. So after some terminologies are there like test cases and all the stuff which are not which I cannot explain in this session. So for such kind of things, right, blindly go through this session, go through the next videos also. Again, when you are good, right, again come back to the session and understand this document. Okay, that is a plan I am suggesting, and that is a kind of solution I am suggesting. You see, you can make this document a bit beautiful. You see this logo you can add here. How to add this logo here? So let's say I'll add this my company logo. Let's say I'm the Arun Motori working as a test lead in the so and so company. The company is this one. So I can add. Sorry, this is not good. Sorry, let me add it here. Insert pictures. This device desktop. So it's not coming here. So sorry. So I'll crop it. I'll crop it, guys. Crop. Okay, I'll crop it and I'll move it here. Okay, it's not moving. Yes, somehow it's not moving. Okay. Okay, this section is not at all moving. So sometimes it will not come. It will come sometimes. I'll copy this and paste it here. So let's see whether it will work. Yeah, the size is less, but I will crop it. Okay, so crop done. Crop is done, and I'll move it left align, home, left, and increase the size. You see, this logo has come perfectly done. And along with that, I would like to add the client logo also. Okay, yeah, I'll add the client logo in the from here. So in the header section, maybe here I'll try to add, but let's see whether it will add or not. I'll say insert pictures. Let's say client logo is this one, Tutorials Ninja, right? Let's say the client logo looks like this. This is the logo of the client. Let's say Tutorials Ninja logo. I'll reduce the size. I'll move it to the right side. Okay, what is this? It's not moving. Yeah, it moved like this. Okay, done. So like this, guys, you can customize the document with the client logos and your company logos. Once you are done, you can simply save it. Done. Close header and footer. Done. Okay. So this is the test plan document, guys. Hope you understood as much as possible at a high level. Okay. If you want the sample test plan document, you can download from here, guys. This is a finalized test plan document. You can download from here and work on it. Okay. This one has all the things. Okay. All these fields, whereas this one only has some fields. So better I suggest you to take this one and start working for your project. So anyhow, as I already mentioned, few terminologies you may not understand in this session. So those terminologies will be explained in the upcoming sessions. Once you are done with the upcoming sessions, again, you can come back to the same session and go through the video to understand the test planning in a better way. So that's it, guys. That's all about the test planning. So we'll go with the next sessions in the coming days. Thank you, guys. Bye.